You're listening to the Growing On podcast, where we dig into the heart of Georgia agriculture. Each episode, we explore the people, stories, and issues shaping the fields, farms, and food that keep our state growing strong. From the latest in ag policy and innovation to timeless farming traditions, we're here to keep you informed and inspired. Here's your host, John Holcomb.
We're here to talk about the cotton Jassid, or Jassid, like we already said. But to start out with, just explain to me what the Jassid actually is for maybe somebody out there that doesn't fully understand.
So the cotton Jassid is actually a very small leafhopper. It was native to India. So it's been a pest of cotton in India for many, many years. The first time it was found in the continental U.S. was actually in 2024. The first Jassid we found in the state of Georgia was just 7 months ago, on July 9th. But it's a small leafhopper, so it has sucking mouth parts, and it feeds on multiple species of plants, but cotton is a preferred host. And when the Jassid feeds on the cotton, it actually injects a toxin during the feeding process. And the injury we see on cotton, the yellowing of the leaves, the hopper burn, the reddening of the leaves, that is a plant response to the toxin which was injected into the plant.
Okay. So from an actual, what's actually happening to that plant? Does it end up killing the plant overall, or does it just limit production?
So, we've learned a lot about Jassids and how it impacts the plant. As these leaves on the plant, the injured leaves reacting to the toxin, as they turn yellow and ultimately red, the capacity of that leaf in terms of photosynthesis goes down. So we see limited production in terms of yield. But it's just the plant is not functioning at its fullest capacity due to the injury from the Jassid.
Okay. Now you said that you mentioned that you found it here in the state 7 months ago, so sometime in the fall or late summer-ish?
Well, we found it on July the 9th.
Okay.
In Seminole County. And, it's just amazing how fast this insect spread across the state of Georgia. Basically, every cotton-producing county in the state, we detected Jassids in those counties. And that includes our areas of production in northwest and northeast Georgia. But they spread that quickly by mid-September.
Wow. Okay. Now, in terms of what you guys actually found, can you give me an idea of just what kind of impact it actually has or had this past season?
So when we have a new insect, a new invasive insect, first thing we do is read about the insect from other parts of the world. But then there are three fundamental questions that need to be answered. The first question I get as an entomologist from a grower or a county agent is, how do we control this insect? So that was objective number one. And we figured out that we did have insecticides that would provide control of this insect. The second challenge, or the second question, is, does this insect impact yield? And the answer to that question is yes. So we've got yield data from many, many trials. And in the state of Georgia, our average yield loss on all those trials was 13%. But we had a range from 1% loss up to 46% loss. So this can be a devastating pest if left uncontrolled.
Okay. So I guess my next question is, as growers start to head into 2026 season, what are you guys recommending, or what should a grower be doing to possibly prepare if that's possible, I guess?
Yes. So again, the third question is when to control this insect to preserve yield. And if we look back at 2025, we sent information out to our growers and agents, and we, adapted as we learned more from this insect. But at the end of the day, we're still confident that we have a management plan if the insect comes in at the same time frame as last year. And again, when we mostly saw this insect, we were into bloom. Now, as we go into 2026, Jassid is going to be on everyone's mind. And we don't need to overreact. We don't need to underreact. We have to spend time in the fields, and when we start detecting Jassids, we got to make good decisions in terms of control. One of the things that a grower could do going into 26 is we probably could look at planting dates. Where we saw our most severe losses in 2026 was on our later planted cotton. Another thing that we noticed was that fertility, particularly potash, was very important. We don't need to have a field that's deficient in potash. Those fields where we're deficient in potash tended to crash quicker from this plant's response to the toxin.
I do, because you mentioned this, and
yes.
I do want you to talk about y'all's efforts in terms of research and how y'all are trying to figure out more about it.
Like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, in terms of where are we at today and how are we trying to better understand this insect and as we move into 26, one of the things that we started doing in 2018, and many growers remember 2017 when we had a whitefly outbreak, but we use these little yellow sticky cards to monitor whiteflies every week, year round. What we noticed in last August is we were catching Jassids on our little sticky cards that we're looking for whiteflies. So we're continuing to look at those over the winter. We're optimistic the winter temperatures have impacted Jassid populations, but we don't know how much. We know we've caught one Jassid in the last month on our sticky cards. So I hope that's the last one, but probably not. But, we're trying to understand this winter survival. And as we start moving into warmer temperatures in March and April, we're really going to ramp up our scouting of, and we're doing this now, winter weeds. We're looking at the various winter weeds. We're looking at various cover crops just to see if they could be hosting Jassids. But right now, we're just not finding Jassids in the field. But warmer temperatures, that could all change.
Okay. I guess one last question for you, and you kind of already told me the answer to the first part of it, but when should growers could possibly start to see them? And if they do start to see them, whenever that might be, what is a good step or a good recommendation for you or for them from you?
When will we see Jassids in cotton in 2026? We don't know that answer. When should you begin looking for Jassids? On day one. Now, our county agents, we're going to be looking, in every county where we grow cotton for Jassids. And when we first detect Jassids, we will let growers know. This is still a fluid situation, and our recommendations could change. They changed in 25 every couple weeks, sometimes less than that. We funneled all our information through county agents and county delivery, and it really showed how well we could get information out there. So one of the things I would encourage growers to do, number one, is make sure you have a scout. Make sure they're looking for Jassids. Number two, you as a grower, this insect tends to feed on the edges of fields first. The injury on the plant is unmistakable. Everyone in the state of Georgia saw it last year. Be looking for that. But as we find insects and our county agents find insects, we're going to be sending out information to our growers.
Thanks for listening to the Growing On podcast. Be sure to tune in soon for our next episode. Until then, be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast if you haven't done so already.